That was a strange and interesting experience with the last son of Galder and the orb that was behind it. It's extremely rare that I have had my swords not strike an enemy when I attack them. Unless, of course, I miss. But in this case I did not. This Jirik Galderson knew it was invincible too. Yes, I could see the mocking in its withered old Draugr face. It knew all right. But I didn't at the time. Once in a while, fighting enemies, especially tough enemies, is like completing a puzzle, and in this case happened to fool me because I wasn't aware it still had some of its Draugr minions on the above floor. Because you had to kill them all before you could even harm Jirik Galderson. So now we have all 3 amulet fragments, and all that is left is to forge it into one amulet. If it has all 3 enchantments applied, health, stamina, and magicka, then it would be quite a good amulet. Maybe one of my companions can use it. As to what that orb thing is behind it, I just have no idea. Perhaps it's a power that the ancient Nords use for some purpose. All I know is that Auntie would have been fascinated if she were with me. She'd still be there studying it, I am sure. She loved history, restoration, and alchemy. For me, restoration is my favorite school of magic. Most likely because it aids me in battle and keeps me alive, and I use that school more than anything else. But I think I know why I started liking it to begin with. It seems that everywhere I go, the Thalmor want a hand in it. At least outside of Stormcloak territory, that is. Not only should this not be allowed, but these Thalmor agents should be either shown the door or given the sword. They have no place in the Empire. When I was in the Legion Light Cavalry, they constantly meddled with whatever big thing was happening. Capture a suspected Thalmor agent among the bandits. A Thalmor diplomat with several of their agents along with Legion escort would pay your camp a visit. We told them off, and they would lodge a protest, but we ignored them. They cannot tell us what to do, though I believe the Emperor allowed their agents within the Empire as a way of keeping the peace. Many in the Legion were veterans of the Great War at the time I joined, and some of these Thalmor were even disappeared, and that is why they eventually got Legion escorts to dissuade such activity. I've never killed a confirmed Thalmor in the Legion. The first time I did was after I was in the Legion when I returned to Skyrim. But we did sometimes act overly aggressive and killed many bandits instead of forcing them to surrender and be taken to prison, if we did suspect there was a Thalmor influence or presence among them. The fact that the College of Winterhold also has a Thalmor agent there is quite maddening. Again, there is no clause or stipulation within the White Gold Concordat to allow them to be wherever they want. It was just either a way of maintaining the peace or weak leadership that allows such nonsense. There's literally nothing stopping me from killing any of them whenever I meet them. The only bad thing would be is if the Empire finds out about it. It could easily compromise your position with them, and that is something I will need to avoid.
Let me know if you need anything, or take a seat by the fire and I'll send someone over.
I haven't been to this, what is it called, New Nisus Corner Club. This is the inn? Or the tavern for the Dunmer.
Need something?
I had expected Ysgramor's city to be bigger.
What's the problem, Amberys? Afraid I'll soil your precious bar stool?
This is the last time I'll say it. Get out.
Fine. I didn't want any of your piss water anyway.
Need something?
What's going on? I feel like I'm over in Solstheim. No Nords coming here. What have you got for sale?
Take a look.
I can use a tomato, but usually they don't. They sell already made food here. Not really. Yeah, like, well, there's apples. I'll buy a pear pie. Do you have blackbriar meat? You do. Getting a little low on that. Baked potato, not raw potato. Yeah, you don't have any tomatoes. Oh, thanks. So I was I not asked to steal something here?
Need something?
Right, this is from a while ago. Wasn't it an Argonian on the docks? Retrieve the ancient Nordic pickaxe. I don't know where that is. Steal the double distilled skooma for stands and shallows. That's definitely an Argonian. And I believe it's in here. Double distilled skooma. Well, that would make sense. Skooma. Oh, wait, no. For some reason. My sleep is all messed up. We passed by it. Locate the missing college apprentices, Boromir and Rundi. Were last known to be scouting a ruin near... This is right near Winterhold. Deliver the page. So, there's another page here that I think is along the docks. Restoration page. But I was given this job. Can we do it?
Did you need something?
I think we should do something about the mead supply, Amberus.
Need something?
Everyone in here's a Dunmer.
This drivel again.
This is so strange. I've never seen this before.
Why would I bankrupt myself just in an attempt to appeal to these stone-throwing idiots?
What can I do for you?
Plus, Blackbriar mead, and a barrel of it, no less. Are you crazy?
Did you need something?
The cost alone to import it would put me under.
Think of the
Oh,
investment.
there's a Bosmer over there.
Hi there.
All of Elda's
Need something?
If I could just, like, take his blood. Malborn! What are you doing here?
Briar mead at Candlehearth.
Wow.
Oh, they're serving swill.
It's Delphine you should be angry with, not me.
Don't worry, I'm mad at her too. And at myself for ever agreeing to get involved in her insane scheme.
So what are you doing here? You're not Dunmer, you're Bosmer.
Trying to stay alive. I think time's running out though. I'm pretty sure the Thalmor know where I am. Maybe you can help me. You know, by way of making amends for getting me into this mess.
You want gold. You help me, I'll do what I can to help you.
You will? Really? Well, okay. Here's the situation. I was trying to get to Morrowind. The
figured
Dunmer
so.
don't care much for the Thalmor, and I figured I'd be safe there. As safe as anywhere, that is. But there's a Khajiit hanging around the main gate. I didn't like the way he was looking at me. I'm sure he's Thalmor, just waiting for me to leave so he can follow me and kill me in a lonely place.
Don't worry, I'll take care of this assassin for you.
You'd be saving my life.
Khajiit?
Again. I know I probably seemed ungrateful. I've just been so scared. Expecting a knife at my throat any minute.
Whoa, what? You're sitting inside here with your back turned. See where that man is, that Dunmer over there? That's where I would be sitting.
Need something?
Or at least sitting here, where you can see everything. Idiot.
Yes.
Alright, hey.
How splendid. Another Nord.
You know we're in Skyrim, right? I've heard there's been more murders. You have anything to say about that?
None of that matters to me. Until someone takes a Dunmer, I'll let Windhelm deal with its own problems.
You know what? I never cared for being too completely focused on my own race. I mean, at one point I was thinking of marrying a Dunmer woman. Let me just say it. Why are there so many dark elves here?
Where else would we be? When the Red Mountain burned, you could scarcely breathe in Morrowind. So we came west. Windhelm was the first city on that road. And here we are. If we had known the Nords would be so unwelcoming, we may have kept walking.
Yeah, I know, they don't treat you well here. So, how are you treated here in Windhelm?
Well, you see where we have to live. This forgotten alley. All the filth from the upper quarters flows downhill, what they say.
Oh, good.
Good luck getting one of the guards to help with anything. I tried to get Ulfric to even come down here to see the squalor, but the High Lord of his mightiness couldn't find the time.
Alright. What have you got for sale?
Drink for the thirsty, food for the hungry.
Right, well... Huh. We've got some weird drinks. Ashfire mead? Ash yam, apple pie. I've never really cared for how bitter your drinks are coming out of Morrowind. Take some butter. Yeah, you've got all the Morrowind drinks. Sheen. Sujama. Actually, you know what? That Sujama wasn't so bad. You've got tomatoes. I'll buy those. Right, we have to go and I'll try some Sujamma. Your only one you have.
If you need another drink, I'll be right here.
Did you need something?
Hello?
That look. He said a man waits his entire life to see that look from a beautiful lady. I wish I knew what he was talking about, so I'd know never to do it again.
Is something the matter?
Not at all, stranger. I was just caught in a memory, and when that happens, I have a tendency to speak out loud. That's why the Nords say I'm of questionable mind, when all they used to question were my morals.
Oh. Well, you remind me of a certain Breton woman that I used to group with. Any interesting news or rumors?
Candlehearth Hall may be a cozy and elegant place to have a drink, but the Corner Club has style.
Look at her eyes. See, this is how they're supposed to be, red. Look at her glowing eyes over there. That's a vampire. I'm certain of it. Any other interesting news or rumors?
It's a shame what's happened to the Shattershield family this past year. We've had our differences, but I never wished them ill will.
Is your last name Hlalu? That's like the most common Dunmer name there is. Any interesting news or rumors?
I often tell Renori she needs to see the world, but the advice rings hollow when I myself can't seem to tear away from this city.
Any other news or rumors?
They say the old Nord who comes by the Corner Club is married to an orc. But that's not the strangest part about their relationship. The rumor is so heinous, I can't even repeat it.
Oh.
So I won't.
Listen, I don't mind interracial romances, loves, marriages, children, but I draw the line at an orc, an Argonian, or a Khajiit, for me, at least. And it should be that way for everybody else, Man and Mer. Although, of course, Orsimer are Mer. I can't get past that teeth. If there was an orc without teeth that will tear your lip off, then... I mean, I have to at least be able to kiss my woman, so... I can't with an orc. That's just too much. So aren't you married to Bellin Hlalu?
Bellin? Don't be absurd. Bellin is my cousin.
Oh.
Our ancestors were once members of the great house Hlalu.
What can you tell me about the House Hlalu? I've heard of them.
Well, our crest was adorned with a scale to represent the balance achieved by negotiation and compromise. House Hlalu prided itself on the use of diplomacy as opposed to warfare. They were loyal to the Empire for centuries, even before the Great War. Perhaps that bloodline is what makes me oppose Ulfric's rebellion, while at the same time makes excuses for him regarding the Grey Quarter.
You make excuses for the condition of the slums.
The war has altered Ulfric's priorities. He won't listen to our pleas until things settle down. Even then, it would be a mistake to appeal to his chivalry. We must convince him of our value to the city's economy. If we present it to him not as an act of charity, but an investment, we have a better chance of making our case heard.
So you appeal to Ulfric's selfishness as opposed to his kindness. Smart.
That makes it sound underhanded. But a diplomat's greatest strength isn't deception, but empathy.
Tell me about Bellin, your cousin.
Bellin is a good farmer and a good Dunmer. Many find it surprising to see a Nord woman under his employ, but not if you know Bellin. While I preach working together and compromise with the Nords, Bellin backs up his words with action. Seeing those two till the fields and harvest crops speaks louder than anything I could ever say.
Is there anything about Bellin that you don't like?
Well, I do think he works Adisla a little too hard, especially given her age. I tried to help, But I'm
blazing
dreadful at
banners of
harvesting.
gold and blue,
Bellin won't let me
canals
anywhere
running
near
through
his
it
wheat
all.
after I damaged nearly half his crop.
gondola men
no wonder.
ferrying
My fool, the
foreigners
fool
around
never
the
showed me
quarters.
how.
So are you talking
Yapping
about the
this and
Hlalu
that.
farm that's nearby? I'm going to turn to my earlier questions.
Very well.
So this man that you were referring to that said something about being beautiful, actually that's what made me think you're sort of like Remiel, caught in your head with stories.
Brick by brick, if I
A lover?
Well, when you end
Stranger.
up going, I'd be
A
honored if you would let
mistake.
me join you, my
He
friend.
saw the way I looked at him
I'll think about
and
it.
thought I was in love.
Oh,
Perhaps I was. But only until the day he left.
why? When did he leave?
It was the day Ulfric had left for solitude. Not
Oh.
to plead for war,
Killed King
but
Torek.
to make it. I knew then my lover's fate was sealed. He would join the Stormcloak army and depart for a camp the following morning. We said our
It was
goodbyes,
a Nord man, I take it.
and I never gave him a second look.
Tell me about your relationship with this Nord.
I was standing at the docks when his ship pulled in. His name was Balrund. He was a noble's son. His shoulders were dressed in the finest furs, and a golden amulet hung from his neck, the center set with a stone as blue as a summer day.
Was he handsome?
Very much so. In fact,
Seems
when
that
I saw
can't
him,
go
I
one
dropped
night
my
without
basket of
Rolf's
flowers.
remarks.
I was so
Blasted
embarrassed
Nord
when I
is dumb
scrambled
as
to pick them
bricks.
up.
Then do
All
something
that
about
was
it,
left
Aldir.
was a single
Show that
dragon's
venture you
tongue.
won't take his insults lying
I was
down.
about to reach for it when a hand
Even
plucked
if he
it
shoves
off
your
the
face
ground.
against the bloody pavement, at least you tried. By the divine,
Balrund's hand, I take it.
such a coward.
Yes, he
And get
placed
half
the
the
flower
city
in my
guard on
dress
me?
and told
Be
me
lucky to make it
a
out alive
flower
after
this
such a dire
beautiful
infraction.
belongs in no basket.
Me, a gray
What happened next?
skin,
Strange
punching a
feelings
Nord?
swelled within me.
Look, Rolf's an idiot.
Anticipation,
I don't
anxiety,
have a death
as if the world had shrunk into a single person,
We all know
Hearing
that feeling.
and yet
imbecile
it
is just
never
about enough
felt
to give me
so
an
vast.
aneurysm.
I never even noticed it was an amulet of Mara around his neck.
Ah. It happened that fast. The amulet means he was available. You should have pounced.
Yes, for the time being. Only most people don't walk around with an amulet of Mara when they go about their daily routine. It generally means they are on their way to propose to the person they love.
I see. What happened after you met Balrund at the docks? Now I'm interested in this romance story.
It didn't take long for me to discover the amulet of Mara was meant for another.
Ah, so it was.
He said it was nothing more than a business arrangement, a wedding made to unite two clans who had long been at odds.
That often happens.
That only made it worse.
So what did you do?
The only thing I could. I set out to do two things that night. Put down a bottle of ale and put him out of my mind. I had all but succeeded when he walked into the corner club. I tried my best to ignore him.
He's looking for
The
you.
fool kept at it. I told him it would end in tears. He said he would never make me cry.
Did you believe him?
I did, but only because I was in love. And love makes a mockery of wisdom. We alter our lives, our futures, and the fate of those around us, all to chase that single fraction of a moment when everything is beautiful.
That sort of reminds me a little bit when I've met my first wife. When I saved her life, we were enamored from the start. It wasn't the same thing with Serena, because I knew she was a vampire, and I fought for a long time those feelings. Aren't those moments you spent together... This touches me a bit, because I think of my first family. Aren't those moments you spent together still worth living for?
No, they're not. Those moments are poison. Just look at me. Still in love with a ghost.
He might be still
Fool
alive.
went and got himself slayed not a week after the war began.
Oh, he did die.
I never even got a letter.
I'm sorry. There seems to be few tales of romance in Skyrim. Too few.
Yet you'll find more than your fair share of tales of sorrow, sadness, and melancholy. That is something we Dunmer can relate to.
I know.
That is something every foolish, mad, and hopeless romantic can relate to.
In other words, you believe the Nords and Dunmer have a lot of common ground.
Yes, Skyrim is a cold land, and its people hewn from ice and stone. Some may see the surface and the edges, and mistake it for a lack of passion. Yet in the end, Nord or Dunmer, Altmer or Orc, we are all mortals. We laugh, we love, and we cry. Behind the icy veneer, in the privacy of our bedrooms, and in our most intimate of thoughts, we all turn to those emotions that are timeless.
Well said. Skyrim and its people are cold but passionate.
Yes, the land itself is filled with hidden wonders. For every desolate tundra, there are clear lakes and hidden grottos as lush and vibrant as the Ascadian Isles.
Ah, that's the green area of Vardenfell. It's been nice talking to you, Morvaya.
Safe travels.
For the longest time, I thought
you
I would
smell
marry
horrible.
a Dunmer woman.
Get yourself cleaned up.
And you actually are pretty
Yes.
beautiful, so... I stink, huh?
Yes.
Well, look at all the blood on me.
Yes.
Of course
How
that's gonna smell.
splendid.
Anyways,
Another Nord.
Shut up.
Yes.
I've done no wrong to you. I don't even know how to do this. Where exactly would it be? Twice skooma? You have skooma here. Well, this place has seen better days. Or is cheaply built to begin with. Yeah, well, I mean, they're not up here. Except she followed us up. You don't need to follow me around. Yeah, actually, before I met you, I thought I would marry a Dunmer woman. I was always had my eyes on them. But love found me regardless. I think I found it. This twice, distilled
How can I
skooma.
help you?
What was easy? Hello?
Huh?
Where's the woman with the vampire eyes? She was here earlier.
Oh, did you need something?
Got to look in their eyes carefully.
Rick, a little friendly advice. Take a bath and get some new clothes.
Hello?
Have you ever
Yes.
met Vigdid? I'm not afraid to say I quite fancy her.
And were you her? Hello?
What is it?
Yes, you're the same woman. Go get yourself cured.
What?
I guess I need to have a bath. I think one of these Argonians. Hey,
I wish by thy hist, if I don't get something soon, I don't know how I'll get through the week.
you want skooma? Here's your double distilled skooma. That's a bad road you're on.
Thank you so much. Here, let me show you a thing or two about not attracting attention to yourself.
Sneaking.
Stay safe.
Well, thank you. That actually was worth it. I haven't seen that little girl, and I've looked. Yeah. Well, Thalmor assassin, that's right. There's supposedly one on the docks. Let's see. It's a Khajiit, he said. I don't think I've seen a Khajiit in all of this place.
So, Inigo. I know this sounds like...
They're all Argonians, the beast races here.
Skyrim isn't very friendly for them.
When you're happy?
No, they just keep out of the way.
Hey.
Windhelm has been hard on my people. But our fortunes will turn, and we have shelter and food.
Black Marsh is really hot. I'm not sure how you can stand it here. What the Nords can't. Do wear a resistance necklace.
Not funny, my friend.
Alright, I need to trade some things with you. Well, I've looked around.
Never
the one
saw
place
anything like this back on the island.
It's for Argonians only.
I'm so glad I left that place.
There's a warehouse here, though.
Come on, Redcap. Let us show them how it is done.
Hmm? I can see the Thalmor trying to take him out. What's going on here? Eesh. Good gods, what's going on? Slow. Regenerate health. What's with all the fire going on here? What? There's no Khajiit here. Oh wait, this has nothing to do with the Khajiit. This is... They must have, yeah. They must have the page of restoration here. They stole it? Crimson Archer? Ah. Yeah, she's from the college. Missing page restoration. Right. I was expecting to find a lone Khajiit assassin. But there's nobody else here. Nothing else here. Alright, we'll keep looking for that assassin. You're in this warehouse. Who are you?
Hello, friend.
Oh, you're the first one I met when I first came. I remember that.
These are dangerous times.
First Dunmer I met when I came to Windhelm. Right, I'm looking for the little girl, and then I have to go see to this murderer. No, I believe Skyrim's big enough for everyone.
Good. Too many Nords in this town have been listening to Ulfric's narrow-minded words. He's tough, loyal to his men, and a good leader. But if you're not a Nord, Ulfric will never trust you.
That Dark Elf called you a war hero.
I killed a lot of High Elves in the Great War, and I didn't die. I guess that makes me a war hero. The Great War. There was nothing great about it. Thousands died on both sides. And where did it get us? Did we really save the Empire? Or did we just plant the seeds for Ulfric's uprising? And another war.
Why help Dark Elves?
Help the Dark Elves? Oh, you must have heard me talking to Malfir. The Dark Elves live in a run-down slum called the Grey Quarter.
I know.
Ulfric's content to keep it that way. I guess they think I can open Ulfric's eyes to their plight and get him to lift a finger on their behalf. I'm trying, but Ulfric is set in his ways. For him, there's two kinds of people in this world. Nords and the folk beneath them.
Ulfric really doesn't care about outsiders, huh?
Whenever a group of marauders attack a Nord village, Ulfric is the first to sound the horn and send the men. But a group of Dark Elf refugees gets ambushed, a group of Argonians or a Khajiit caravan, no troops, no investigation, nothing. There's a group of cutthroats out there right now that Ulfric doesn't lift a finger to bring to justice, as long as they don't threaten Nord land.
What if I took care of these bandits?
That's a brave offer. I'd be happy to throw in my coin behind that. You deal with them, I'll make sure you get paid. Maybe this old soldier will throw in some lessons as well.
Okay, you marked
Keep
it on my map.
safe.
I've got to find it now. Oh, it's nearby. I thought I'd been there and cleared it out. I did. It's right by the Asylum of Boethia.
Now's a good time for us to have a little alone time.
You think so?
So, what do you say?
Yes, dear, I'd like to.
Great. Let's find a place where we can truly be private first.
Inigo just gave me some nice poisons and some soup. Thank you, Inigo.
No problem. It is nice to be able to give something back.
Alright, let's relax. My wife and I need time alone. Oh well, I finally found her. I was searching all over the city. Where have you been, Sophie?
Need something?
Such a cute little girl. Breton, right? So, last time you told me your name is Sophie, so where are your parents?
They're dead. My mama died when I was little. I don't remember her very well. My father was a Stormcloak soldier. One day he left and didn't come back. I'm all alone. I try to sell flowers so I can buy food. It's not much, but what else can I do?
No, that's wrong. She's Nord. Well, what have you got for sale?
Some pretty flowers. I picked them all by myself.
I'll take them all. I could adopt you if you want.
Really? Do you have a place I could live?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've got a house in Whiterun, but I'm building an even larger house by Falkreath.
Oh, wow. Are you sure? You really wouldn't mind?
Well, I feel terrible for you. You're the same age as Lucia, right? Yes, I'm sure, Doctor. You go to Breezeholm in Whiterun. Tell Lucia. I'll send a letter to Lydia to let her know what is happening.
Stop by again.
But yes,
Okay.
You're definitely going to
Really?
have a happy home. Yes, in
Oh.
Whiterun.
Wow. Are you sure?
Yes, I'm
You
sure,
really wouldn't
Doctor.
mind? Yay! Thanks, Mr. Papa. I promise I'll be the best daughter ever. I need to get my things and say goodbye to everyone.
Torald
I'll
Jensen.
meet you at home. Thanks.
But call me
Thanks
Papa.
so much.
You're welcome. We'll see you then. Alright. I have two girls
I need to get
now.
my things and say goodbye to everyone. I'll meet you at home.
Okay,
Thanks.
sounds good. I'll see you there,
Thanks so
Sophie.
much.
Right, now let's go and deal with this murderer. Am I going the right way? Okay, I am totally confused. Okay, the inn is here.
Got something
Ugh.
to sell? Come and talk to me.
Well, you look really cold. Interesting makeup you have. What is on your neck and cheek? Some kind of tattoo?
You wield Azura's star?
Yes.
How? How can such a thing be possible?
Huh. You have stunning eyes. Wow. They're like
Heard you're quite the
crystal.
hunter. Must be skilled with the bow then?
Like a diamond.
Or do you run after your prey like a madman?
I don't actually think I've ever seen anybody with eyes like that before. Yes, this one can... I can just go to Thieves Guild to learn... I've already learned Destruction Magic. Give it a while. Right, so I've got to go find that person that I accused of being a murderer and wasn't a murderer. I would also like to see if I
Well,
can't help that
This
alchemist.
castle definitely looks better than the one back on the island. That's for sure.
I will can see myself dueling him in the future. But
you've done us a great service.
okay, so the prison is there.
Your reward.
No, thank you. Let's go see if we can't. I should be talking to the steward to get. That was their. Oh, who would it have been? Like the court mage, right? That I accused, and well, the evidence pointed towards him being guilty. So. Through the barracks. We've got to go down to the prison.
All hail the Dragonborn.
Well, thank you. Don't usually hear that. Well, there was another murder, and because I couldn't find Sofia, I didn't know who was killed. I was actually quite concerned that it was her, so I was frantically searching and asking all around the city till we finally found her. It was in the spot I've seen her before, selling her flowers. Right. Well, hey.
Whatever you've heard I can do is probably true.
The killer has struck again.
Oh, isn't that a shame? And here I am in the bloodworks. Looks like you aren't such a sharp investigator after all.
You can be resentful, or you can help me. Your choice.
What made you think I was to blame in the first place? I've actually been after the killer myself.
I found your journal and amulet where the butcher worked.
My what now? I've never kept a journal, I can assure you. What exactly did this amulet look like?
8-sided, jade, ringed with ebony, a worn carving.
I know it well, or at least I've heard of it. I would wager that carving once depicted a skull. That is the necromancer's amulet.
Is it?
Of legend.
Of legend?
You were at least half right. There is necromancy at the heart of this.
So what can we do now?
I've been noting a pattern to when the killings happen. Now that we know they're tied into some sort of necromantic ritual, I think I know when the next might occur. Let's see. From Elordis of Last Seed until Amidus of Hearthfire, it will happen soon. Very soon.
Oh.
Keep watch in the Stone Quarter tomorrow night. That's almost certainly where the killer will strike next.
Can we get you out of here?
Whatever you've heard I can do is probably true.
Guard.
You couldn't possibly be the Dragonborn of legend.
I am.
Could you?
Magic is the true
Hey.
power.
What could it mean?
Who can get a prisoner out of there?
Dragonborn?
Maybe I have to
Who among us
prove
could possibly
that he
hold that
was
honor?
not the killer.
Such power.
Oh, he's been in there for quite a while now. Surprised he's not spitting angry. Refused to help. Oh, well, Nords at least have a sense of honor. Even when wronged, they'll still abide by it. Somebody framed him. So tomorrow night. Well, it's early in the day. Today. I guess I have to wait, stay here, patrol the streets of the Stone Quarter at night. Where exactly is the Stone Quarter? I know that there's the Grey Quarter, that's where the Dunmer are. Is the Stone Quarter the entrance area? And I guess, what about the shops? There's the docks, the shops, the Grey Quarter, the Stone Quarter, so there's 4. I'm guessing that this is the Stone Quarter, which kind of makes sense, but or maybe this is just considered the palace, I don't know. Maybe this area is the Stone Quarter. Hey, Orc.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I guess I've never paid attention to it before, but
City to be
their teeth really do stick out. I don't know how they eat regular food, let alone kiss each other. Well, I've done everything I can all over the city, as far as I know.
My pa was a sailor.
Well, we can just wait.
He died, and
Oh, I could read a book.
real hard.
Read the last book.
I know. I'm sorry.
Do you grow all your own crops?
Everything you see is grown at my family's own Hollyfrost farm, fresh and filling. I also do a little herb growing. The court wizard Wuunferth pays us to plant a little nightshade. Who knows what he uses it for? Hey, could you deliver this bottle of nightshade extract to Wuunferth?
The one that's in prison. I'll make sure he gets it.
Thanks.
Must be tough to grow anything out here.
There's an old saying that only a Nord can work the soil in Skyrim. I don't think anyone else would have the patience for it. It takes half a day just to dig a planting row in the cold, stony earth here. But what else can we do? Eat rocks and ice?
I suppose so.
Good day to
I have
you.
some things that belong to my daughter, Frigga. She won't be needing them anymore.
Oh, I see. Yes, of course, I'll take a look. Just bring them by whenever it's convenient for you.
Right. Well, I've got nothing to do around town. I can go back to Wuunferth, I suppose. Give him this potion while he's in prison. Hello again.
Whatever you've heard I can do is probably true.
I have a delivery from Hilevi.
Ah, yes, the extract. Good. Poisonous, of course, but it has its uses. I suppose you want something for your trouble? Here.
Oh, you have that much gold while sitting in prison. All right. Thank you.
Strength and steel are well and good, but magic is the true power in this world.
All right, I'll try to get you
Why are
out.
we even hanging around here? Your business here better be important.
All hail to Ulfric! You are the High King. In your great honor we drink and we sing.
Stormcloaks.
We're the children of Skyrim and we fight all our lives. And when
Is there something I can do for
every
you?
one of us dies.
I want to dance to this one.
But this land is ours and we'll see it wiped clean. Of the
Where's
scourge that
Redcap?
has
Can't find the
sullied
little
our
guy.
hopes and our dreams.
Yes, my friend?
Gold all over the place.
You got some nice meat hooks there.
Yeah, so
Makes
you've
for a
said. I
damn
can't
good
find
punch.
Redcap. I'm gonna call him.
Your great honor we drink and we sing.
Redcap? Oh, there you are.
To suit the hard
How are you doing, my friend?
We get dizzy drink?
I think so. Yeah, we're back in a tavern, right? Follow me.
Okay.
So, you want a drink, Redcap?
Dizzy drink. Give.
Have some Cyrilli Brothers wine. Okay. So, is that Didrik Prince going to show up? Doesn't take much to get the little guy drunk. Well?
Redcap likes dizzy drink.
You want another?
Why don't you write a book about me?
Um,
You can title it
Okay.
True Nord Hero. The Rolf
Okay.
Well, good time. I want to eat that pie that I bought. Pear pie.
See, Rolf?
Really good.
My demographics aren't quite attuned to the whole archetypical
love
good and evil dichotomy.
Oh, there he is.
Just a tad more nuance in their literature, I'm afraid.
Red God. What? Wrong.
literature.
Forgive me. This isn't a good time.
Perhaps once I'm
Talk
done with my
about
current
it.
manuscript.
No, not possible.
Red God.
Okay, you talked me into it. My boyfriend died.
What?
Fell off the top of the cliff after a drunken party with the priestesses of Dibella.
Boyfriend?
What? I didn't... No, listen, you must have misunderstood. That is, I don't remember even saying that.
Red God. Stop.
Oh no, I'm confused.
It's okay.
No.
Red God.
Well, this is a nice mess
I don't
you
much
got
like
me
this, I'll
into.
tell you. But you
I
saved
need
my
another
skin.
drink.
Sorry about boyfriend.
Things won't be the same without him. I have some thinking to do. Here, take this. You know, as a thank you.
This rose staff.
I don't always think my decisions.
You gave him a...
But you're going.
Daedric artifact.
I think you've definitely earned the staff.
Thought friend had staff.
You must be new around here. I am Sanguine, Daedric Prince of Debauchery. The Sanguine Rose breaks all the time and is fixed with but a thought. You know, this may have begun as a minor amusement, but I salute you, sir. If there's anything I can ever do for you, do not hesitate to call upon me. A toast to a beautiful friendship.
Sanguine has bestowed Redcap with the unique Daedric artifact Redcap's Rose. Redcap's Rose. While Redcap has the rose equipped, his attacks will intoxicate their targets, slowing their movement and causing them to occasionally drunkenly attack their allies. Huh. Along with supping a small amount of their vitality and giving it to Redcap. I can talk to him about using it or starting to use it anytime I want. Wow. He must like you, Redcap. That was interesting. What? I don't know what you just said. Well, I'm glad you're here, Redcap.
Traitor to his own. I'm surprised you're not drinking Fled at the corner club.
Well, you just wait here. Look at he's carrying it too. Okay, wait here. I don't know where you went last time.
I wait here. Get me some.
That is interesting.
Damn gray
Redcap's
skin.
Rose, huh?
Very
I almost can't wait to try it fighting our enemies. Now, yeah, switch. Let's take off Redcap ring, put on the Warrior's ring again.
in this city. It's a disgrace.
You got some nice meat hooks there.
Hey,
Got some fresh baked bread and good cheese if you're after a bite to eat.
like to rent a room.
Are you joking?
Oh.
You just rented a room from me.
Fine.
Enjoy your stay. And don't break nothing.
Is there no chair in here? How am I supposed to read? Oh, it's somebody's cot. Well, there's chairs upstairs, but it's loud. Or it can be. Maybe not
something?
in the middle of the night or early morning.
Dizzy drink. Make it hard for me.
Did I hear you telling that damn gray-skinned bard about your prized chorus pie recipe?
What?
Chorus pie.
Listen up, old man. The damn grayskin doesn't deserve the recipe after you put in all the hard work.
By the gods, that sounds horrible.
Let her eat kwama, or whatever the Daedric hells her kind eat.
Right, well... Let's read the Argonian account, book 4. Been many years since I've read this. By Wogan Jarth. Probably the last book I'll read of his for a long time. Decimus Scotti was drowning, and he didn't think much of it. He couldn't move his arms or his legs to swim because of the paralysis spell the Argonian peasant had lobbed at him, but he wasn't quite sinking. The Oncobra River was a crashing force of white water and currents that could carry along large rocks with ease, so Scotti tumbled head over heels, spinning, bumping, bouncing along. He figured that soon enough he would be dead, and that would be better than being in Black Marsh. He wasn't too panicked about it all when he felt his lungs fill with water and cold blackness fell upon him. For a while, for the first time in some time, Decimus Scotti felt peace. Blessed darkness, and then pain came to him, and he felt himself coughing, spewing water up from his belly and his lungs. A voice said, "Oh, bother, he's alive, ain't he, now?" Scotti wasn't quite sure if that were true, even when he opened his eyes and looked at the face above him. It was an Argonian, but unlike any he had seen anywhere. The face was thin and long, like a thick lance. The scales were ruby red, brilliant in the sunlight. It blinked at him, its eyelids opening and closing in vertical slits. "I don't suppose we should eat you, should we now?" The creature smiled, and Scotti could tell from his teeth that it was no idle suggestion. "Thank you," said Scotti weakly. He craned his head slightly to find out who the we were, and discovered he was on the muddy bank of the still sludgy river, surrounded by a group of Argonians with similarly needle-like faces and a whole rainbow of scales. Bright greens and gem-like purples, blues and oranges. Can you tell me, am I near, well, anywhere? The ruby-colored Argonian laughed. No, you're in the middle of everywhere and near nowhere. Oh, said Scotty, who grasped the idea that space did not mean much in Black Marsh. And what are you? We are Agacephs, the ruby-colored Argonian replied. My name is Nomu. Scotty introduced himself. I'm a senior clerk in Lord Vanek's building commission in the Imperial City. My job was to come here to try to fix the problems with commerce, but I've lost my agenda, haven't met with any of my contacts, the Archines of Gideon. Pompous, assimilated slaver kleptocrats, a small lemon-colored Agaseph murmured with some feeling. And now I just want to go home. Nomu smiled, his long mouth arching up like a host happy to see an unwanted guest leave a party. Shez will guide you. Shez, it seemed, was the bitter little yellow creature, and he was not at all pleased at the assignment. With surprising strength, he hoisted Scotty up, and for a moment the clerk was reminded of Gemulus dropping him into the bubbling muck that led to the Underground Express. Instead, Shez shoved Scotty towards a tiny little raft, razor-thin, that bobbed on the surface of the water. This is how you travel? We don't have the broken wagons and dying horses of our brothers on the outside, Shez replied, rolling his tiny eyes. We don't know better. The Argonian sat at the back of the craft and used his whip-like tail to propel and navigate the craft. Oh, that's a new one. They traveled quickly around swirling pools of slime that stank of centuries of putrefaction, past pinnacled mountains that seemed sturdy but suddenly fell apart at the slightest ripple in the still water, under bridges that might have once been metal but were now purely rust. Everything in Tamriel flows down to Black Marsh, Shez said. As they slid through the water, Shez explained to Scotty that the Agacephs were one of the many Argonian tribes that lived in the interior of the province, near the Hist, finding little in the outside world worth seeing. He was fortunate to have been found by them. The Nagas, the toad-like Patru, and the winged Sarpa would have killed him on the spot. There were other creatures, too, to be avoided, though there were few natural predators in inner Black Marsh. The scavengers that rooted in the garbage seldom shied away from a living meal. Hackwings circled overhead, like the one Scotty had seen in the west. Shez fell silent and stopped the raft completely, waiting for something. Scotty looked in the direction Shez was watching and saw nothing unusual in the filthy water. Then he realized that the pool of green slime in front of them was actually moving, and fairly quickly, from one bank to the other. It deposited small bones behind it as it oozed up into the reeds and disappeared. If this is even half true, the stories of Black Marsh, that really makes it a place I never want to go. Voroplasm, Shez explained, moving the boat forward again. Big word. It'll strip you to the bone by the second syllable. Oof. Scotty, desirous to distract himself from the sights and smells that surrounded him, thought it a good time to compliment his palate on his excellent vocabulary. It was particularly impressive, given how far from civilization they were. The Argonians in the east did, in fact, speak so well. They tried to erect a temple of Mara near here in Umfolo 20 years ago, Shez explained, and Scotty nodded, remembering reading about it in the files before they were lost. They all perished quite dreadfully of swamp rot in the first month, but they left behind some excellent books. Scotty was going to inquire further when he saw something so huge, so horrifying, it made him stop, frozen. Half submerged in the water ahead was a mountain of spines, lying on 9-foot-long claws. White eyes stared blindly forward, and then suddenly the whole creature spasmed and lurched, the jaw of its mouth jutting out, exposing tusks clotted with gore. Swamp Leviathan, Shez whistled, impressed. Very, very dangerous. Scotty gasped, wondering why the Agaseph was so calm, and more, why he was continuing to steer the raft forward towards the beast. Of all the creatures in the world, the rats are sometimes the worst, says Shez. And Scotty noticed that the huge creature was only a husk. Its movement was from the hundreds of rats that had burrowed into it, rapidly eating their way from the inside out, bursting from the skin in spots. Wow. They are indeed, Scotty said, and his mind went to the Black Marsh files, buried deep in the mud, and 4 decades of Imperial work in Black Marsh. The two continued westward through the heart of Black Marsh. Shays shows Scotty the vast complicated ruins of the Kothringi capitals, fields of ferns and flowered grasses, quiet streams under canopies of blue moss, and the most astonishing sight of Scotty's life, the great forest of full-grown histories. Wait, the Kothringi are actually men. They're were they blue or something skinned? I remember reading about them a long time ago. They lived in Black Marsh, but they've gone extinct. I don't know when it was. First or second era. There's no more Kothringi anymore. Blue-skinned men. Strange. Or green skin, I'm not sure what they were. They never saw a living soul until they arrived at the edge of the Imperial Commerce Road just east of Slough Point, where Malik, Scotty's Redguard guide, was waiting patiently. He's there. I was going to give you 2 more minutes, the Redguard scowled, dropping the last of his food onto the pile at his feet. No more, sir. The sun was shining bright when Decimus Scotti rode into the Imperial City, and as it caught the morning dew, it lent a glisten to every building as if they had been newly polished for his arrival. It astonished him how clean the city was, and how few beggars there were. The protracted edifice of Lord Vanek's building commission was the same as it had always been, but still the very sight of it seemed exotic and strange. It was not covered in mud. The people within... Did I read that right? I thought... Okay, they fast-forwarded in time and he went back to the Imperial City, but maybe it's not the Imperial City, it's just a Imperial City. Alright. The very sight of it seemed exotic and strange. It was not covered in mud. The people within actually generally worked. Lord Vanek himself, though singularly squat and squinty, seemed immaculate, not only relatively clean of dirt and scabs, but also relatively uncorrupt. Scotty couldn't help but stare at him when he first caught sight of his boss. Vanek stared right back. You are a sight, the little fellow frowned. Did your horse drag you to Black Marsh and back? Oh, so he did go into the Imperial City. It's just that it didn't explain anything. Yeah, he met with Malik and said he was going to give him 2 more minutes and no more. And then I guess that's fast-forwarded a few weeks into the future. Not only relatively clean and dirty, but Scotty couldn't help but stare at him when he first caught sight of his boss. Vanek stared right back. You're a sight, the little fellow frowned. Did your horse drag you to Black Marsh and back? I would say go home and fix yourself, but there are a dozen people here to see you. I hope you have solutions for them. It was no exaggeration. Nearly 20 of Cyrodiil's most powerful and wealthiest people were waiting for him. Scotty was given an office even larger than Lord Vanek's, and he met with each. First among the Commission's clients were 5 independent traders, blustering and loaded with gold, demanding to know what Scotty intended to do about improving the trade routes. Oh, I remember the ending as a bit of a twist. Scotty summarized for them the conditions of the main roads, the state of the merchants' caravans, the sunken bridges, and all the other impediments between the frontier and the marketplace. They told him to have everything replaced and repaired and gave him the gold necessary to do it. Within 3 months, the bridge at the Slough Point had disappeared into the muck. The great caravan had collapsed into decrepitude, and the main road from Gideon had been utterly swallowed up by swamp water. The Argonians began once again to use the old ways, their personal rafts and sometimes the underground express to transport the grain in small quantities. It took a third of the time, 2 weeks, to arrive in Cyrodiil, none of it rotten. The Archbishop of Mara was the next client Scotty met with, a kind-hearted man, horrified by the tales of Argonian mothers selling their children into slavery. He pointedly asked Scotty if it were true. Sadly, yes, Scotty replied, and the Archbishop showered him with septums, telling the clerk that food must be brought to the province to ease their suffering, and the schools must be improved so they could learn to help themselves. Within 5 months, the last book had been stolen from the deserted Maran monastery in Umfolo. As the Archines went bankrupt, their slaves returned to his parents' tiny farms. The backwater Argonians found that they could grow enough to feed their families provided they had enough hard workers in their enclave, and their buyers' market for slaves sharply declined. Ambassador Sleetix concerned about the rising crime in northern Black Marsh, brought with him the contributions of many other expatriate Argonians like himself. They wanted more Imperial guards on the border at Slough Point, more magically lit lanterns posted along the main roads at regular intervals, more patrol stations, and more schools built to allow young Argonians to better themselves and not turn to crime. Within 6 months, there were no more Nagas roaming the roads, as there were no merchants traveling them to rob. The thugs returned to the fetid inner swamp, where they felt much happier, their constitutions enriched by the rot and pestilence that they loved. Sleex and his constituency were so pleased by the crime rate dropping, they brought even more gold to Decimus Scotti, telling him to keep up the good work. Black Marsh simply was, is, and always shall be unable to sustain a large-scale cash crop plantation economy. The Argonians, and anyone else, the whole of Tamriel, could live in Black Marsh on subsistence farming, just raising what they needed. That was not sad, Scotti thought, that was hopeful. Scotti's solution to each of their dilemmas had been the same. 10% of the gold they gave him went to Lord Vanek's building commission. The rest Scotti kept for himself, and did exactly nothing about the requests. Within a year, Decimus Scotti had embezzled enough to retire very comfortably, and Black Marsh was better off than it had been in 40 years. So what?
Really
do nothing and then improves? Well, it's a bit of a different world.
You're lucky you're so old, Niels.
You would need extreme, extensive works being done. And he's singing. The kind of which Imperials are known for, building this and
Can't
that.
just throw the big logs on the fire. Gotta have the little bits, too.
Oh, yes. I'm a little overburdened. I need my hunter's backpack. Right, well, it's getting late, I think. Sort of. Time to have some drinks, and then we'll go and rest for the night. Oh, yeah, I'd like to rent a room.
Sure thing. It's yours for a day.
All right, thank you.
I'll show you to your room.
No, I know where it is. I've rented it many times. Serena, let's have a drink.
That sounds lovely.
Alright, I'm sending off an email to Bethesda to inform them that this company on YouTube is claiming the theme song to their most popular game ever, Skyrim. It's probably, in fact I know it is, the most widely sold Western RPG in history. Apparently there are 60 million units sold. What would be the next one? Oh, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt had 50 million units sold. And then Pokemon had like 150. I don't know if that's one game or just the entire series, but yeah, that's pretty big. But I'm sure Bethesda won't be pleased about it. They have given blanket permission for anyone to use any and all of their assets on social media in any way that they want. Some company claiming one of their assets as their own is highly illegal. Really, it falls on YouTube for allowing these false positive claims to begin with, and for me it's been an issue for probably close to a month now. Every one of my Skyrim videos gets claimed because of around 30 seconds of the Skyrim theme song playing at the start of my videos. We'll see how long that lasts. Thanks for watching. Take care.